Beauty Unveiled, Chapter 1. The falling snow added to the thick woolly blanket already covering the ground outside the community center. It held an undeniable beauty, shimmering and pure, but to Sarah it seemed like an icy prison, trapping her indoors until it melted. She stepped off the elliptical machine and began stretching out her muscles. At least her new job let her work out whenever she wanted to. When the winter storms hit, everyone stayed home, so today she found herself alone with a treasure trove of equipment to use. She sat down on the weight bench, ready to start strength training, as Catherine's car pulled into the parking lot. Sarah jumped up and let her in, ecstatic to have some human interaction. Catherine brushed the snow off her coat and beamed at her. "I can't stay long, but you left this morning before I could tell you my news." She held out her left hand, and something glittered in the morning light. Her jaw dropped as she stared at the princess-cut diamond ring on her sister's finger. Ryan finally proposed? Catherine's eyes danced. "Yes, just last night. I know it's only been 5 months, but it felt like an eternity waiting for him to ask." Her sister's smile grew even bigger. "So what do you say? Do you want to be my maid of honor?" Sarah grinned at her glowing sister and gave her a hug. "Of course I do. Have you set a date yet?" She unscrewed the cap on her protein water and took a drink. Catherine bit her lip, and her eyes got wide, like she was ready to burst. "We have our sights set on Valentine's Day." Sarah almost choked on her water. "That's a little over a month away." She nodded. "I know. I've gone crazy, haven't I?" "You've always been crazy, Kate." Catherine's eyes narrowed. "Hey, be nice." She gave a nervous laugh. "Well, I'm going to go run some errands and tell Mom and Dad. Don't mention that I told you first. Mom will kill me." She aimed a mischievous grin at her. "Don't worry, I won't. Go on and get out of here and stop smiling so much. Your face is going to stick like that." Catherine laughed and waltzed out of the building, looking even more beautiful and graceful than usual. As she navigated through the thick layer of snow on the ground, it gave the illusion that she was floating on a cloud. Sarah's smile faded after Catherine left. She was thrilled about her sister's engagement, but couldn't erase the dull ache in her heart. Soon enough, things would be changing. Her sister would never say it out loud, but she knew what was coming. Sarah wouldn't want to live in a house with 2 newlyweds anyway. She needed to move back in with her parents until she could find her own apartment. Sarah turned the music up full blast and started wiping down gym equipment with disinfectant to keep her mind busy. She had plenty to be thankful about in her own life. She loved her new job and managed to get all A's on her college transcript last semester. If she kept it up, she'd graduate from community college in the spring and start the coursework to become a personal trainer. All her dreams were coming true, but that didn't ease her restless heart. All of a sudden, the hometown she used to love seemed like a lead weight around her ankle. She needed excitement, a trip, anything to break up her boredom. It didn't help that most of her old friends ditched her after she gave up her old way of life, with one exception. Nikki stuck around, but Sarah had the feeling she was growing annoyed with her new faith as well. Sarah began spraying disinfectant on the exercise mats as a shadow appeared above her. "Excuse me, miss. I saw the help wanted sign in the window," a deep voice said. Her eyes traveled from the man's cowboy boots and faded blue jeans to a pair of familiar brown eyes. "Sean!" He smiled down at her. "Hey, kid." Sarah leapt into his warm embrace. "Where'd you come from? I didn't even hear you come in." He chuckled and released her. "Well, I'm glad at least one person in this town is happy to see me." Sean's eyes twinkled. "I don't think I'll receive that warm of a welcome from everyone." She crossed the room and turned the music down. "Don't be silly. Everyone loves you here." She looked out the window at his old rusty pickup truck and shook her head. "You haven't changed a bit. I figured you would have traded in old Betty for a hybrid or something, now that you're a city dweller." He smiled and shook his head. "No, I'll always be a country boy at heart." "She's still got some years left in her anyway. I bet she'll outlive that tiny fire ant in the parking lot." He motioned toward her red compact car and gave an ornery grin. Sarah laughed and put her hands on her hips, enjoying their ongoing car banter. "Well, that might be true, but at least my fire ant gets better gas mileage." "Really? Does that thing even have room for an engine under its tiny hood? I figured you had to pedal it." She aimed a fake scowl in his direction, but it quickly turned into a smile. "So what brings you back to town, anyway?"